My husband has been cheating with my best friend and asked me tonight if she could move in. On a Thursday night, my 10-year-old found a spare key in my husband's jacket and said, "Mom, why does Aunt Mia have a key to our house?" He looked scared, like he already knew the answer would hurt. I did not shout. I made one small change. I stayed quiet, opened a folder called Receipts, and let my husband talk because I needed the truth in writing. My name is Lena. I am 34 and I live in Phoenix. I am going to tell this the way it happened because if I tell it as a summary, it sounds like a soap opera. In real life, it felt quieter, and that is what made it dangerous. Eric and I had been married 7 years, 2 kids, a mortgage, normal routines. He was not a monster in public. He was actually the kind of husband people call helpful. He carried groceries, he fixed things, he volunteered at school when it made him look good. My best friend Mia and I had been friends since our early 20s. Same first apartment complex, same broke years, same late night talks, same inside jokes. Mia was the person who knew my life without me explaining it. So when Eric and Mia got along, I thought that was a good sign. I thought it meant I chose 2 good people. The first crack was small. Eric started mentioning Mia more than he mentioned anyone else. Mia said this restaurant is good. Mia thinks you would love that show. Mia has a great eye for design, she could help. At first it sounded like admiration. Then it sounded like dependence. Then Eric started staying out later, but not in a suspicious way that would make me immediately accuse him. In a work-ran-late way, I was helping a friend way. And when I asked questions, Eric would smile and say, "Do not be weird." We all know that sentence. It means stop noticing. Then came the night my 10-year-old found the key. It was a Thursday, kids had homework, I was packing lunches for the next day. Noah ran into the kitchen holding a key on a small pink keychain. He said, "Mom, why does Aunt Mia have a key to our house?" The keychain had a little cactus on it, the kind Mia loves. I recognized it immediately. My first instinct was to feel dizzy. My second instinct was to keep my voice calm for my child. I said, "Where did you find that?" Noah pointed to the hallway. "In Dad's jacket, I was looking for his flashlight." I took the key, held it in my palm, and felt my throat tighten. If you were me, would you confront your husband right then with your child watching? I did not. I said to Noah, "Thank you for telling me. Go help your sister with her reading." Noah hesitated. "Are you mad?" I said, "Not at you." He nodded and walked away. That was the one small change. I did not explode. I did not give Eric a scene to weaponize. I stayed quiet long enough to think. When Eric came home, he acted normal. He kissed my cheek and said, "Hey, long day." I watched him take his shoes off like it was the most normal thing in the world. I held the key in my hand and said, "Calm, why does Mia have a key to our house?" Eric froze for half a second. Then he did what people do when they want you to doubt your own reality. He laughed lightly. "What?" he said. "That is nothing." I asked, "Why does she have it?" Eric shrugged. "She used to. For emergencies. She probably never gave it back." I looked at him. "When did you give her a key?" Eric's jaw tightened. "Years ago. You are overthinking." Overthinking. That word is a cousin of do not be weird. I asked calm, "Did I agree to that?" Eric said, "You would have. It is not a big deal." I did not argue. I nodded once like I accepted it. I did not. Because I wanted to see what he would do next. Eric walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and said casually, "By the way, Mia might need to stay with us for a bit." My stomach dropped. He said it like he was asking about groceries. I kept my face calm. "Why?" Eric sighed, like I was difficult. "Her lease is ending. She is stressed. She needs support." Support? I stared at him. Why can she not stay with her sister? Eric shook his head. "She does not want to." I asked, "How long is a bit?" Eric said, "Just until she gets back on her feet. A few weeks." A few weeks. In my house. With a key in my husband's jacket. If you were me, you might already know the answer. I did not want to believe it, but my body did. I said, "Calm, we will talk tomorrow." Eric frowned. "No, we need to decide now. She is waiting." Waiting. That meant Mia already believed she was moving in. I asked, "You already told her yes?" Eric hesitated, then said, "I told her you would be okay, because you are kind." Gint. That word is how people demand compliance. I nodded slowly. "Okay." Eric's shoulders relaxed, like he thought he won. Then I said, "I need time. I will text you in the morning." Eric's eyes narrowed. "Why?" I said, "Because I am not making decisions at night when the kids can hear." Eric rolled his eyes. "Fine." He went to bed. I stayed in the kitchen and did the second small change. I created a folder on my phone called Receipts. I took a photo of the key and the cactus keychain. Then I checked our door camera history. I had never looked at it closely before because I never needed to. I scrolled back. And I saw Mia on our porch 3 times in the last month when I was at work. Not dropping something off. Standing, texting, waiting. One day, she entered with a key. I watched the clip twice. My chest went cold. Because that meant Eric was not telling the truth. Mia had access, and she was using it. I screenshot the camera timestamp and saved it. Then I did something else. I checked our shared bank account. A hotel charge from last weekend in Scottsdale. Eric had told me he was at a work training. I clicked the charge details. 2 nights. My hands shook slightly. And then my phone buzzed. A text from Mia. Hey babe, Eric said you are cool with me staying. I love you. This will be fun. Hey babe. She called me babe. My stomach turned. Not because of a word, but because it sounded like she was performing closeness to reduce suspicion. I saved it. Receipts. Then I wrote one sentence to myself in notes. Do not confront until you have a full timeline. Because if I confronted now, Eric would call me hormonal, jealous, unstable. And I was not going to let that be the ending. The next morning I acted normal. I packed lunches. I walked Noah to the bus stop. I kissed Sophie's forehead. I asked Eric if he wanted coffee. Eric looked relieved. He thought the moment had passed. That is the thing about people who manipulate. They rely on your discomfort to make you avoid conflict. I did not avoid. I delayed strategically. After Eric left for work, I called a lawyer. Miss Delgado answered and asked, "What is the situation?" I kept it simple. My husband and my best friend are crossing boundaries. She has a key to my house. He wants her to move in. I have kids. I need to know how to protect myself. Miss Delgado said, "First, do not sign anything. Second, document everything. Third, secure your finances. Fourth, do not leave your home without a plan because access matters in custody situations." Custody. That word made my stomach drop. I was not planning a divorce yesterday. Now I had to plan like someone who might need one. Miss Delgado also said, "Do not accuse without evidence. Keep communication in writing." So I did. I texted Eric, calm. We are not moving anyone into our home without a written plan, timeline, and agreement from both of us. I will not discuss this verbally. Eric replied quickly. Why are you being dramatic? It is just Mia. I saved it. Then he replied again. You always do this. You make everything complicated. I saved that too. I called the locksmith and asked a simple question. How much to rekey a smart lock and deadbolt? They gave a quote. I did not schedule yet. I wanted to see whether Eric would admit anything first. Then I texted Mia. Mia, I need space right now. Please do not come to my house. She replied with a laughing emoji, then wrote, Relax. I am basically family. Basically, another word that erases boundaries. I saved it. Then I asked her one clean question. Why do you have a key? Mia replied, Eric gave it to me, for emergencies. I asked, what emergency? No answer. Instead, she wrote, Stop interrogating. You are pregnant. Pregnant. I was not pregnant. She typed that on purpose because she wanted to paint me as irrational. I screenshot it. Because it was proof she was already building a story about me. If you were me, you might think she made a mistake. She did not. She sent another message. I have been there for Eric when you were not. There. That was a confession without details. I stopped replying. Then I opened my email and searched for hotel confirmations. I found one. 2 months ago, Eric had forwarded a receipt to himself from a hotel in Flagstaff. Subject, thank you for staying. He told me he was on a work retreat. The receipt listed 2 guests. Not names, but 2 guests. I saved it. Receipts. Then I checked the door camera again, but this time I looked for patterns. Mia arrived on days I had late meetings. Mia arrived on days Eric said he worked from home. Mia left after 2 hours. It was not random. It was scheduled. I wrote a timeline. Date time camera clip. I felt sick, but I stayed calm. Because calm is how you keep thinking. That evening, Eric came home and tried to act charming. He brought dinner. He hugged the kids. He said, See, we are fine. Then he said, So, Mia can move in Friday. Friday. He had already set a date. I looked at him and said, calm, no. Eric blinked like he did not recognize the word. What? He said. I repeated, no. He laughed sharply. You cannot just say no. I asked, why not? He said, because I already told her yes. I nodded. Then you can tell her no. Eric's face hardened. You are being selfish. I said, calm. You are being disloyal. Eric snapped. Do not accuse me. I asked one question. Why is there a hotel charge in Scottsdale? Eric froze. Then he said, work. I said, 2 nights. Eric swallowed. Training. I looked at him. With Mia. Eric's jaw tightened. He said, "You are paranoid." I did not argue. I opened my phone and showed him the door camera clip of Mia entering our house with a key. Eric stared at the screen. Then he did what manipulators do when caught. He attacked the method. "You are spying," he said. I replied, calm, "It is my door camera." Eric said, "You are crazy." Crazy. There it was. He stepped closer and said, "You will ruin your family if you keep this up." I said, calm, "You already did." Then Eric did the most chilling thing. He smiled slightly and said, "If you divorce me, I will tell everyone you are unstable." Unstable again. The same word. So I did the boring adult thing. I said, "From now on, everything is in writing." Eric scoffed. "What? You are recording me?" I said, "I am documenting." Then I walked to the bedroom, took my important documents and put them in a bag. Birth certificates, passport, insurance cards. Not because I was running. Because I was preparing. That night, I slept with my phone charging next to me. At 2-3 a.m., Eric left the bedroom and went to the living room. The door camera showed the front door opened for 30 seconds. Then closed. I checked the timestamp. I checked the porch camera. Mia was there. At 2 a.m. She walked in with the key, stayed 30 minutes, and left. I did not confront them in the moment. I saved the clip. Receipts. In the morning, I sent one message to Eric. "I have video of Mia entering our home at 2 a.m. Do not bring her here again. Do not contact my friends. Communicate through email only." Eric replied, "You are trying to ruin me." I replied, calm, "You ruined yourself." Then I called the locksmith and rekeyed the house while Eric was at work. I also told the school office that only me and Eric were approved pickups and no family friends were permitted. Because if Eric and Mia were willing to sneak in at 2 a.m., I was not trusting them with school logistics. When the school said Mia tried to pick up my son, I had to pull my car over. Because that was not messy romance. That was my child. I asked the school secretary, calm, "Did she get him?" "No," she said. "We did not release him. We called you because it felt wrong." I thanked her. Then I asked, "Do you have a record?" She said, "Yes, we noted it." I drove to the school and spoke to the principal briefly. Not emotional, just factual. "Mia is not authorized. She is not family. Please note that any attempt by her must be refused, and please call me immediately." The principal nodded. "We will." I requested a printed copy of the pickup authorization page. I saved it. Receipts. Then I called Miss Delgado. She said, "This is important. It shows an attempt to access your child. Keep records. We move faster now." Move faster. So we did. Miss Delgado drafted a formal notice. Mia is not authorized for any child-related access. Eric is not to facilitate third-party pickup. Any further attempts will be documented and used in custody discussions. Eric did not like that. He texted me, "You are weaponizing the kids." I replied, calm, "You tried to take them through Mia." He replied, "She was helping." Helping again. I did not argue. I told Miss Delgado to file temporary orders for parenting time and third-party restrictions because I had enough documentation to show risk. That night, Eric came home furious. He tried to force a conversation in the kitchen. I did not engage verbally. I held up my phone and said, "Email." He laughed bitterly. "You think this makes you powerful?" I said, calm, "It makes me safe." Eric then said, "Mia is moving in anyway." I shook my head. "No." He stepped closer. "You cannot stop me." I said, calm, "The locks are rekeyed." Eric froze. He stared at the door, then looked back at me like I had committed a crime. "You changed the locks," he said. I replied, "You gave a key to someone who tried to pick up my child." "Yes." Eric's face went red. "You are insane." I did not react. I opened my phone and played the camera clip of Mia entering at 2 a.m. Eric stared at the screen. Then he said the worst excuse. "It was not what it looks like." I replied, calm, "Then explain what it is." He could not. He said she needed comfort. Comfort. At 2 a.m., in my home. I nodded. Okay. Then I said, "You can stay at your mother's." Eric laughed. "My mother is not in town." I said, "Then stay anywhere else. The kids and I are staying here." Eric tried to bargain. "Let Mia stay in the guest room," he said, "just until she figures things out." I stared at him. "This is not about her lease," I said. "This is about your relationship." Eric snapped, "Do not say that word." I asked, "Then why do you risk your family for her?" Silence. Then Eric said quietly, "Because she understands me." There it was. He admitted the emotional betrayal. I asked, calm, "Do you love her?" Eric looked away. I did not need a yes. The silence was enough. That night, I slept with the kids in my room and kept the bedroom door locked. In the morning, Miss Delgado sent me the temporary orders filing confirmation. Court date scheduled. Then I received a message from Mia. She wrote, "Can we talk like adults? I am not trying to steal your life." I did not reply. I saved it. Then she sent another message. "You do not deserve him. You never did." I saved it too. Because now it was clear. This was not a misunderstanding between friends. This was hostility. If you were me, would you want to confront her and end it? I did not. Because she wanted conflict. She wanted me to look unhinged. So I stayed calm and used structure. I sent one formal no-contact request through Miss Delgado to Mia. Do not contact me. Do not contact my children. Do not go to school. Do not come to my home. Then I told my friend Tasha, the only mutual friend I trusted, what was happening. Tasha said, "I knew something was off. Mia has been bragging." Bragging. That word made my stomach drop. Tasha forwarded me a screenshot from a girls' group chat. Mia wrote, "He is finally choosing me. I just need Lena to calm down and accept it." Accept it. Like I was supposed to sign off on my own betrayal. I saved the screenshot. Receipts. 2 days later, the court hearing happened. Miss Delgado presented. Door camera clip of 2 a.m. entry. School note of pickup attempt. Texts where Eric threatened to call me unstable. Mia's "you do not deserve him" message. The group chat screenshot showing intent. The judge issued temporary orders. No third-party pickups. No third-party contact with children. No communication through a parenting app. Parenting time schedule set. Both parents must agree on any support persons. Eric looked shocked, like rules were unfair. After the hearing, he tried to talk to me in the hallway. He said, "You are ruining me." I replied, calm. "You chose this." Then he said, "Mia is pregnant." My stomach dropped. Not because I believed him instantly, because it was exactly the kind of bomb he would throw to reset the story. I stared at him and asked, "Are you lying?" Eric did not answer. He just walked away. And I realized he was still trying to control with chaos. When I saw a new dependent request, I felt something cold settle in my chest. Because even if Eric was lying about pregnancy, he was trying to make a record. A record of a baby. A record of responsibility. A record of me being unreasonable. Miss Delgado told me not to respond emotionally. She said, "We request proof. We document. We do not argue." So I did. I emailed Eric through the parenting app. "You submitted a dependent request. Please clarify in writing what this is." Eric replied, "Do not worry about it." Do not worry about it. That phrase was his way of saying, accept it. I replied, calm. I need clarification. This affects legal and financial matters. He did not answer. Instead, Mia posted on social media. A vague post about new beginnings and finally being chosen. No names, but I did not need names. I saved it. Receipts. Then, Kayla from my mom group sent me a message. "Are you okay? Mia is saying you are unstable." Unstable again. It was their favorite word. I did not reply to everyone. I replied to Kayla calmly. "I am okay. There are court orders. I am not discussing details." Then I stopped. Because explaining invites gossip. Documentation wins court. A week later, Eric asked for a change in parenting time, claiming work schedule. Miss Delgado requested his work schedule proof. Eric did not provide it. He kept using vague excuses. Then Mia made another mistake. She messaged me from a new number after the no-contact request. "Let me pick up Noah. He likes me." I stared. He likes me. She was talking about my son like he was a toy. I saved it. Then I forwarded it to Miss Delgado. Miss Delgado filed a violation notice. Now the story needed a payoff that felt real, not just legal paperwork. So here is what happened next. Eric's mother, Susan, flew in. She had not been around for years, but now she was suddenly involved because Eric needed support. Susan called me and said, "Lena, you are destroying your family." I kept my voice calm. Eric did that. Susan said, "Mia is not the enemy, you are." I did not argue. I said, "There are court orders. Speak to the attorney." Susan hung up. Then Susan showed up at my house. Not with kindness, with pressure. She stood on my porch and said, "Let me in." I did not. I called Miss Delgado and asked what to do. She said, "Do not open the door, document, call non-emergency if needed." So I recorded through my door camera. Susan eventually left. But she texted me afterward. "You will regret this." I saved it. Receipts. 2 days later, the truth about the dependent request became clear. The insurance company emailed Eric asking for documentation. They copied me because we were still legally married. The email said, "Please provide birth certificate or court documentation for dependent baby M." Eric replied, and he accidentally replied all. He wrote, "We do not have the birth certificate yet. The mother is Mia. I will provide later." I stared at the screen, because now it was in writing. Not a hallway threat. A written admission that he was planning to add a child. Miss Delgado said, "Do not respond. Save it." We saved it. Then Miss Delgado asked, "Do you want to proceed with divorce now or wait?" I said, "Now." Because this was not repairable. Not because of love. Because of deception and access attempts involving my children, we filed. Eric got served. He tried to call me, but the app rules prevented direct calls. He messaged instead, "You are heartless." I replied, calm, "I am consistent." Then he wrote, "Mia is the real victim." I did not reply. Because once someone starts calling the consequences victimhood, there is no conversation. The final court hearing for temporary divorce orders happened a few weeks later. The judge asked about third-party contact. Ms. Delgado presented Mia's pickup attempt, door camera clips, no contact violation texts, insurance email thread with baby M admission, Eric's threats about calling me unstable. The judge extended restrictions. No Mia around the children. No pickups. No hospital access if an emergency. No school access. Eric looked furious. Mia was not in court, but her name was in the record. After court, Eric's lawyer approached and asked about settlement. Not because Eric had remorse. Because the evidence was heavy. We negotiated cleanly. Co-parenting plan. Financial separation. Communication app. No third parties. It was not satisfying like revenge. It was satisfying like safety. Then, on the night the order was finalized, Noah asked me something that made my throat tighten. He said, "Mom, are we poor now?" I knelt and said, "No, buddy. We are okay. We are safe." Noah nodded. Then he said, "I do not want Aunt Mia in our house." I hugged him and whispered, "She will not be." Because that was the real point. My child should never have to carry adult chaos. When my mom called crying about bonus mom, I felt tired more than angry. Because I realized this situation was not only about Eric and Mia, it was about who respected my boundaries when the pressure was real. My mom said, "She sounds so sincere." I replied, calm, "Mom, sincere people do not try to pick up a child from school without permission." My mom went quiet. Then she said, "Eric says you are keeping the kids from him." I replied, "No, the court schedule is clear. He sees them. Mia does not." My mom whispered, "She says she loves them." I said, "Love is not access." That sentence became my rule. My mom asked, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Do not relay messages, do not meet Mia, do not discuss my children with her. If you want a relationship with me, you do not become a messenger." My mom hesitated. Then she said, "Okay." It was not perfect, but it was a start. The divorce continued. Not dramatic. Paper, schedules, mediation. Eric tried to pull the narrative one last time. He told mutual friends I canceled the marriage because I was jealous. Some people believed him at first. Then they saw the evidence. Not all of it, just enough. The pickup attempt. The no contact violations. The insurance email. Truth does not need a speech. Truth needs one clean receipt. Eric eventually moved in with Mia. That part hurt in a quiet way because it meant our kids had to adjust to a new reality. But the court order remained. No contact between Mia and the kids until further review, and any review required stability and time. Eric was angry about it. He kept saying, "You cannot control my life." I replied, calm, "I am not controlling your life. I am controlling access to my children. That is what parenting is." Noah and Sophie adjusted slowly. They asked questions. They tested routines. And the most important thing happened. They stopped feeling like the chaos was their fault. Noah stopped asking, "Did I make Dad mad?" Sophie stopped flinching when the doorbell rang. That is the payoff. Not revenge. Nervous systems calming down. Months later, Eric sent me a message through the app. "I am sorry for how it happened." Not sorry for what. Sorry for how. I did not reply emotionally. I replied, calm. If you want a better co-parenting relationship, it starts with respect and consistent behavior. He did not respond. But his behavior improved because the court structure required it. Mia tried twice more to contact me from new accounts. I saved them. I forwarded them to Miss Delgado. Each time, the court record grew. And eventually, the attempts stopped. Not because Mia changed. Because access became expensive. Now, the last piece. Did I lose my best friend and my husband in one story? Yes. But I gained something too. A clear understanding that love without boundaries is not love, it is submission. And I am not raising my kids in submission. So tonight, when I look back on that moment, the key in Eric's jacket, Noah's quiet question, I do not feel shame. I feel gratitude that my child noticed the truth before it became more dangerous. I also learned a lesson I wish I learned earlier. You do not owe anyone a private conversation when they have already proven they rewrite what you say. You owe yourself documentation. I did not cancel the marriage in a burst of rage. I ended it through a series of calm steps. Evidence. Law. Boundaries. Consistency? That is what kept me safe. And now, when someone says, you overreacted, I do not argue. I just say, read the timeline. Because the timeline is the truth. And the truth stayed out. And that is the ending. Not loud, not dramatic, just documented and final. If you like calm, documentary-style stories with receipts and a real payoff, subscribe. I post long-form stories like this regularly, and the next story starts with a small favor that turns into a setup.